It's a strange thing, walking out of the hospital after a brutal shift. The world outside is still moving, cars honking, people laughing, cafes opening their doors, and you're just standing there, in scrubs stained with sweat, shoes that smell like antiseptic, a heart that feels too full and somehow too hollow at the same time. I remember one night, I had just finished a 30-hour call. We'd lost a patient in the early hours, young, sudden, no warning. We tried everything: compressions, adrenaline, defibrillation. I could still hear the flatline beep in my ears as I walked out into daylight. And as I stood outside watching people sip coffee and scroll their phones, I wanted to scream, "Don't you know someone died this morning?" But of course they didn't. And why should they? That's the thing no one tells you when you start this job. The hardest part isn't always the shift. It's after, when the world expects you to be normal while you're still carrying the weight of what happened inside those walls. I got into a cab that day. The driver asked, "Rough night?" I nodded, too tired to speak. He chuckled, "Yeah, Mondays, right?" And I almost laughed, because it wasn't Monday. It was Friday, and I wasn't just tired. I was grieving. But there's no handbook for what to do with the grief you collect shift after shift. No protocol for where to put the faces you can't forget, the families you had to break, the goodbyes you witnessed that weren't yours, but somehow feel like they are. So you carry it home. You take off your shoes at the door, but the pain walks in with you. You eat dinner, but every bite tastes like guilt. You lay in bed, but your mind keeps replaying that one conversation, that one decision, that one moment you wish had gone differently. And when someone asks, "How was work?" you say, "Fine." Because how do you explain that you watched someone die and then still had to fill out paperwork? It took me months, years, really, to understand that what I was experiencing wasn't weakness. It was residue, emotional residue. It doesn't wash off with scrubs. It clings, quietly, deeply. And if you don't name it, if you don't give it space, it starts to shape who you are. So I started doing something small after each shift. Before going home, I sat in my car and spoke out loud. Not to anyone, just to the silence. I said what I saw, what I felt, what I feared. I lost someone today. I felt helpless. I did my best, but it wasn't enough. And then I would say this, but I showed up. I stayed. I cared. And that counts. Sometimes I wrote it down. Other times I cried. Sometimes I just stared out the window. But slowly, I stopped carrying it all the way home. Not because the pain disappeared, but because I acknowledged it before it could bury itself in me. I also needed a moment to speak to someone after some of those shifts. So I chose online therapy. It wasn't scripted or robotic, just human connection when I needed it most. Not an endorsement, just a real suggestion from someone who's been there. Check the link below. If you're a healthcare worker and you've ever wondered why you feel so heavy after your shift, it's not because you're dramatic or soft. It's because you're human. We witness more pain in 1 week than some people see in a lifetime, and yet we're expected to walk into our lives like nothing happened. But something did happen, and it matters, and you deserve a space to lay it down. So here's your permission to say, today was hard, and I'm not okay, because honesty is the first step toward healing. And if you need somewhere to share that weight, send it to us at clinicconfessions@gmail.com. You're not the only one trying to make peace with the silence after the sirens.